Joining us now is our international affairs editor, Angela Diffley. So, Angela, as we just said, President Zelensky has arrived at the meeting. How significant is his presence there?
Well, it's very important. It should be said that Moldova is right beside Ukraine and Romania. It's sandwiched between the two. It has actually received missiles itself since this war began, and it has taken more refugees from Ukraine per capita than any other country. It has been hugely supportive. The government at the moment in Chisinau is very pro-European and very much identifies with Ukraine on this. They can see how close the threat is for themselves, and they are very, very supportive. So Zelensky is keen to recognise that. He will, of course, be using it, as he always does, any international forum, to press his case again. He will again be talking to particular leaders there, trying to build this so-called coalition of fighter jets. He will also be trying to boost Ukraine's bid to join both NATO and the European Union. He will also be putting out there the skeleton of what he would like to see in any eventual peace plan. So Zelensky's visit there is very important. Ukraine will be right at the top of the agenda.
This is more of a general question, but what can you tell us about this group of nations meeting in Moldova today?
Yeah, it's actually a very interesting grouping. This was Emmanuel Macron's idea, and it does already seem to have proved its case in a sense. The first meeting was held last year, so it's the 27, I think we have a list of countries there, 27 EU members. This isn't an exhaustive list, but I have put on some of those which give you an idea of how wide-ranging it is. The 27 EU members, but also very many other countries, Britain, Armenia, Azerbaijan, Turkey, the Balkan countries, very many of them. So some of these countries are NATO members, some of them are not, some of them are EU members, some of them are not. And it is less formal and less clearly bound than, for example, a NATO meeting or an EU meeting. And it really gives these leaders an opportunity to socialise, to do old-fashioned diplomacy, to have bilateral meetings. The discussions are roundtable discussions rather than strict agenda discussions. And it is already proving its worth. There is a chance that Azerbaijan and Armenia, their conflict might be advanced through meetings on the outside of this. Everyone is keen to talk to Erdogan, who has been newly re-elected and needs to be talked to. He, of course, is so far obstructing Sweden's bid to join NATO, but it looks like there might be movement on that. The Balkans countries are there. And for Britain, which chose to leave the European Union and has been really missing that regular contact with countries which are its neighbours, this is a very important forum. Every 6 months now, it can sit down with EU neighbours.
Well, how important is this summit for the host country, Moldova?
Yeah, I think we saw on the map there earlier, Moldova, its positioning, its received missiles, it really, really does identify with Ukraine on this. It's hoping to raise its international profile. It's hoping to advance its own bid for EU accession. It's a candidate country. Moldova is in a very difficult position. It has this Transnistria region, which in 1992, after a brief war, Russian-backed separatists have a self-proclaimed separatist region there. The international community sees Transnistria as still part of Moldova. But from this region, the government in Chisinau really feel that Moscow is trying to foment discord, that it's backing very noisy demonstrations, and that Moscow is trying to foment and discord and destabilize Moldova as a country. It really wants outside recognition of that financially and in security terms.
Okay, International Affairs Editor Angela Diffley. Angela, thanks as always.